Hey VC, it's Dave here. Thought I'd come on here and enter a contest by Jonathan, who goes by the name of Cheap and Cheerful Record Collector. I'm sure everybody knows him in the vinyl community because he's got, I think this is his 600 subs contest or something like that. He's got quite a few followers, and he's on the VC quite frequently, and he's always showing a lot of different kinds of music. One thing that amazes me is, like, I'm not from a real small town. I'm from, like, 94,000, 95,000 people, although you wouldn't know it from the selection of vinyl here, because it's always pretty slim pickings for me. So I'm always amazed whenever I see Jonathan, what he can find, or somebody like Odd Box Topper. I know they kind of go around and travel everywhere, a little bit of everywhere, to find their stuff, but I'm still always like, man, I can't even find anything half as good as that here. I really have a lot better finding stuff when I do it with CDs. But and that's why I collect CDs, and I probably would anyway, because I prefer the CD format. But Jonathan wanted to show, I think he said 5 cheap finds that you have found while collecting. And I've been collecting music for a long time, and originally I'm from West Texas, out in the Midland, Odessa area. And I was collecting music out there, from the late 70s on, and even when I was a kid I was collecting vinyl. So I can't remember what I paid for these things. All I can remember is that I found them pretty cheap. And this is one of them here. I think I paid like $1 or $2 for this one. Bruce Springsteen's Nebraska. This is an all-acoustic set, as best I can remember it, and a lot of people think this is one of his better albums. I don't know that I'm in that camp. I prefer like his earlier ones, and Darkness at the Edge of Town is one of my favorite ones by him. But this was a nice change of pace from Springsteen, particularly if you like more acoustic stuff, more. Well, he's always been kind of singer-songwriter, but it's less embellished than his other stuff. But yeah, a lot of people like this a lot. There's a little bit of starkness to it, I think. But yeah, it's a good album, particularly for what I paid for it. This is another one too. This is Freddie King, the best of, and it's got a hole up here where it was in like a cutout bin or something like that. Probably picked it up for about $1 or $2, something like that. Of course, Freddie King is from Texas. I forget where, somewhere around in East Texas somewhere, like, I don't know, Gilmer or one of these small towns. But got famous from playing over in the Dallas area, I'm thinking. And he played down in Austin and every place too. There was a club there in Dallas, and I can't think of the name of it. I wasn't around here then, but there was a club over there in Dallas that a lot of these people like this played in. That got to be pretty famous and pretty hot for all the musical talent, I think. And they'd go there after hours too. Like the Led Zeppelin crew went by there, and it was a pretty wild place from, if you read anything about it. And a lot of that you can kind of find. There's a magazine that used to be put out over there called Buddy Magazine, or Buddy, and there was some articles in there about that club. I forget the name of it, but anyway, Freddie King. This is a good album if you want to hear anything by Freddie King and don't know what he sounds like. Pretty electric blues, I would say, and don't think anybody has played any of these songs. I'm Ready's by Willie Dixon. I'd Rather Be Blind is by Leon Russell. So he does a few covers on here, and it's a pretty good album. I bought these next few. This is Rush's Power Windows, and I bought this back in Odessa, and I went in Walgreens, I remember one time, and there was just one of those metal shopping carts full of records, and it was all for $1, and I picked up a big handful of them. Even for some stuff I wasn't really particularly interested in, I just thought, you know, for $1 you can't go wrong, and they were all sealed too. So, and I think what they were doing was getting rid of their vinyl. They didn't want to handle vinyl anymore for whatever reason. And this is the first Rush album I ever bought, and it's probably one of their better ones. It's for my taste. Really progressive, and has big money on it, and you know, some real familiar songs on it. Pretty good Rush album. This I bought there too. The sticker now says $8.73, but it was in that basket. And there's the Walgreens sticker on it. And you know, I don't even remember. You know, I have a vague recollection of where Walgreens sold the records at. Of course, it's the drugstore that everybody's familiar with. But it was so long ago I can barely remember, you know, them selling records way back when. But this is the Rolling Stones. What's the name of this album? Well, I don't see a name on it. But it's got the hit song on it called Harlem Shuffle, and it has this red sort of covering on it, which I never did take off, vinyl, but it's colored underneath. But and I don't really think this is one of their. It's far from one of their better albums for sure. You know, I think by this time the Stones' better days were kind of behind them. But you know, for $1 or what I paid for it, it was worth picking up. This one too. This is Mick Jagger's "She's the Boss," and you know, I can't even tell you what was a hit song on here. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. But I think that way back when there was a hit song off this album, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, it's still in the same vein as anything that the Rolling Stones did. It was around this time that Keith Richards did a solo album as well, and it's pretty good too. I can't think of the title of that one either. Found these up in Denton. This is Renaissance, Scheherazade, and Other Stories. There's a record store on the square up there. I think it's called Book People, if I'm not mistaken, but they sell books and used records and CDs, all kinds of media. It's kind of like a half-price books, but you know, they have a you know, pretty much a following there, because they're really one of the watering holes there in Denton. And I picked this one up, and this one too when I was up there. I found them. They were in real good shape, and I didn't know much about Renaissance, but both of these albums are really good. They're progressive, sort of folk oriented, and you know, female singer, forgetting her name. Annie Haslam. Yeah, but really enjoyed both these two albums. If you can ever find them, they're worth picking up. So here where I'm at now, the vinyl is pretty slim pickings, but I'll go out and I'll look at CDs. I picked these up here recently for about $1 a piece. This is Visions, which is a contemporary instrumental music from Brazil, and it has various artists on here, various musicians, and it's on the oddly enough, it's on the Windham Hill label, off on one of their offshoot labels. But you know, it's pretty good, various artists type thing. I found this the other day along with this other one. I found both of these. This one here's $1 and it's a 4 CD set of rockabilly stuff. The best of rockabilly. Now I'm not a huge rockabilly fan, by any stretch of the imagination, but it has some good hits on here that I was familiar with. It's got some Johnny Cash and some a lot of early Eddie Cochran does 20 Flight Rock. The printing's on here is almost so small I can barely read it. But 4 CD set for $1. Couldn't hardly let that go by. And then this was a 2 CD set of blues music, Influential Blues, House of Blues, and it has a bunch of different artists on 2 CDs. Mannish Boy by Muddy Waters, Boom Boom by John Lee Hooker, and Howlin' Wolf, Bobby Bland, Albert King, Junior Wells. Just a big smorgasbord of different blues musicians, and it came with this little booklet too here that talks about some of the music, and got little write-ups and stuff in there. It's Jimmy Reed, Willie Dixon and Sonny Boy Williams. So with the booklet and everything, it was worth picking up. Actually, I got this one here free the other day, which I got it off of eBay. This is a Joseph, which is 3 sisters out of Oregon, as I remember. And I saw them do a concert here on TV not too long ago, and so I ordered this off of eBay from an independent seller. And I waited around and waited around and waited around, and I waited around for, golly, I think it was about 3 months, and I needed to, I nudged him. He said he would send it, and I waited around a little bit more, and finally eBay got with me and said, if you haven't heard from this guy, you need to let us know, because about a day or two we're going to have to, settle this case or whatever. And so I said, well, I still haven't gotten it, and so the guy sent me my money back. And sure enough, the CD came in the mail the next day. So, I thought, well, I wrote him back and told him I did end up getting his CD, and I could, send him some money in the mail, or however he wanted to do it. But I never heard back from him. So anyway, I guess you could say I got this for free. That's just one of those deals that fell in my favor. But, I was happy to get the CD, and sorry he waited around so long to send it. Found this for $1. This is Moody Blues Greatest Hits. Didn't come with a cover. Found it in a pawn shop for $1. It's got In Your Wildest Dream, The Voice. Some of these I didn't have, like Gemini Dream. I don't have some of these later Moody Blues albums. The Story in Your Eyes, and I Know You're Out There Somewhere. Some of those songs I didn't have, so it was good to get it that way. Here's a Charlotte Moffett, The Net Man. This was a blind buy, but it's on the Blue Note label right there. And I looked at the little booklet. You could open it up, seeing how it was in a pawn shop, and was just kind of reading who all was on here. And I saw that he played bass, guitar, and here it is right here. And I really like the bass as an instrument and the way it sounds. So I picked it up. Real good album too. It's pretty easy listening type jazz, but really good at the same time. I found this one too for $1. There's a sticker that's still on it. This is Bud Powell's Giant Jazz, and this is a trio setting, which goes with a thing Sheriff showed here recently about trio jazz. It's got Bud Powell on piano, Ray Brown on bass, and Max Roach on drums. And then there's another bass player called Curly Russell that plays bass on some of the latter tracks, but there again, it's on the Verve label, and you know, it's like a trio piano type jazz. So there you have it, Jonathan. Wanted to enter your contest, and I hope this loads. Last few times that I've tried doing this, I tried 3 times to make a video for Steve Carlson's. There was a video going around about a month or so ago, 2 months ago, about show some groups with the name Steve, you know, in the band, or like, you know, musicians in the band that was named Steve. And I tried doing that, and like for whatever reason, you know, whenever we would load the thing, it would get down to the last 99% and stop. And I never could figure out why it was doing that. But I did that 3 times, and I was, you know, after that I got fed up with it. Kind of got fed up with loading stuff because it was just taking so long. And but I'll load this, see if it'll go through, and good luck with your contest. And we'll talk to you later. Stay safe.